How's it going, guys? Josh Olufemii here, and this is the third video that we are going to be doing with Jacek Adamczyk. He is currently the teacher of a VFX masterclass that I'm currently taking behind the scenes. I asked him to do yet another lesson on the channel, just kind of giving you guys a small glimpse of what I'm learning in this masterclass. It's amazing. His courses are actually being featured over on Full-Time Filmmaker with Parker Walbeck. The link to the masterclass is down below in the description, but I'm not making any money from this. This isn't even an affiliate link. I just purely wanted you guys to have a small glimpse of how awesome Jacek is, just as far as his teaching style, and how fast it is to learn VFX when you actually have a teacher that's excited about what they're doing. So without further ado, I introduce you to my friend Jacek, the owner of the Filmmaker's VFX Guide. It's a YouTube channel and a course that teaches everything you need to know about VFX, and it's in the link below. Jacek, the floor is yours.
Let's see how you can do it. When Josh hit me up, we wanted to find some cool effects series for you guys, and we found an awesome music video called Jain Makeba, I guess that's how you say it. If you haven't seen it yet, please do. It's super creative, and I think everything that is in this video can be done using After Effects. So today we'll tackle this effect. First, to make it easy on yourself, you'll need a green sheet of paper. I bought the A3 size. I found the behind the scenes video and it's basically what I expected. They are using a green sheet of paper and the two people are holding the paper by the sides in such a way that they are not in the camera, and she's crumpling and folding the paper. They are using tracking markers, but I believe it's just for a reference. I don't think a non-planar tracker such as, for example, the lockdown would be able to track this paper properly. And that's why we won't use markers. Even in the original video, you can see that for one frame they didn't get rid of the tracking markers, and that would be actually quite pain to get rid of. While making this effect, I basically held it myself and just crumpled it as quickly as possible. You can play around with a higher shutter speed to reduce the motion blur on your paper, and I'd set a manual focus on your face and keep it there. The paper doesn't need to be in focus and the camera won't hunt for your face while you take away the paper. So let's start. I have my shot prepared. As you can see, it wasn't the first try, it's bent just a little bit, but it doesn't matter. I mean, ideally it would be perfectly lit and there would be no creases or brighter and darker spots, so the more evenly lit your green screen is, the better. However, as you can see in my scene, I have literally nothing that's green, so I might as well key out almost all of the green. But remember that if you're, for example, outside or have seen anything that's even remotely green, you might be better off with having, for example, a separate light that will evenly light your sheet of paper.
If you're watching this video, you're probably a video editor, and Envato Elements is a video editor's dream. It's a subscription service that gives you unlimited downloads of the most incredible stock footage, like cloud and fog overlays, aerial footage, fire, lightning. They also have incredible VFX packs, Premiere and After Effects templates, sound effects, royalty-free music, and literally anything you could ever want as a video editor. Just by clicking the link below, you will automatically get a free first month. You'll see that coupon for the free first month at the very end after you've finished signing up. And that's it. I use Elements literally in some regard every day.
So as I've said, we have no tracking markers and we will do it all by hand. Let's bring up the photo that we have. It doesn't have to be a photo, it can be a footage, it can be literally anything you want. Let's pre-compose it, move all attributes. Let's do exactly the same thing with our footage. I'm going to rename it. So the whole magic is using a mesh warp. First, set the opacity to 50%. In the end, we will put this layer below it, but for now we have to have it on top. Let's add the mesh warp effect, and I found the 3x3 is really good enough. You can zoom in and out with your mouse wheel, that's super helpful and I use it all the time. So yeah, let's click on the mesh warp and you should see your mesh. So let's find the place where we start to fold our paper. So this would be this frame right here. So let's make a keyframe on distortion mesh. Press U to reveal the keyframes. Let's do it right here. We will start a few frames earlier. So let's go 2 frames forward. So let's find the exact spot. Oh, in case you don't know what the mesh warp does, let's bring up the opacity again. So you can basically deform the image in any way you want. And this is what we will use to follow the creases of the paper. Let's start with folding this. And basically what we have to do is just eyeball it. So let's see, let's say this went just a little bit down. And anytime you click on one of these points, you have all these tangent lines you can manipulate. You can, if you click and drag, you manipulate this and the opposite one, but you can always press Ctrl and manipulate individual lines. So now what we have to do is just go frame by frame and try to replicate this distortion. It's a lengthy process, but it's not that horrible. Just do it every few frames. And the pro tip, make sure that in every next keyframe, you move all of these at least just a little bit. Because when we apply the motion blur, if they won't change between the keyframes, they will stay in place and the motion blur won't be applied and it would look quite weird. So yeah, from now on, we can basically move, and we should move all of these points. So I think right now we will do a time lapse. So yeah, see you in a bit. Oh, by the way, the closer these points get to themselves, like to each other, you want to shorten these tangent lines. Well, not always, but keep in mind that if they stay long, you might get some weird warps just like here. And it might be what the paper does. Just keep that in mind and make sure it looks roughly like a folded paper. And you want to start with the middle ones before you move the outer ones, just because they will overlap each other and it will be really hard to click and find the proper point. So that's just another pro tip from the few times I did this effect. And you don't really want to have these lines crossing each other because they will create some weird artifacts. It won't be really visible, but something to keep in mind. And you can click and shift select a few points to move them together. Might come in handy. As you can see, I'm checking back and forth how much my points have moved, and you can see this one did not, so I want to correct that, as well as this one. Just drag it just a little bit down. You can see by the end this is really messy, but if it's outside of our composition, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so that looks really good. I think so. Let's see. It kind of looks like it's crumpling. Great. Let's turn up the opacity, see how it looks for now. You might be thinking, yeah, but it doesn't really cover all of this green screen, so if I key it out, it will leave holes, right? Well, nope. We will going to use a cool effect to fix that, but first, let's bring it below our layer. And as you can see, these shades are all over the place. So of course, the way you fold it matters, the way you light it matters, but if you don't have anything else green in your scene, you have more leeway. And you always can create a garbage mask to isolate the green paper, but we don't really need it. And what I like to use for keying is the key light preset we have. So we added this effect, and first of all, let's sample some darker green that we have. Turn off the bottom layer On this drop down, select alpha. So that way, anytime I change these effects, I can also see alpha. While if I use the screen mat view from here, it would only show changes from this effect. Anyway, let's open the screen mat. Let's clip black, and we actually have to clip it quite heavy. As you can see, I know this is still my green, but really dark. So if I had anything else green in the scene, it would completely wreck it. But since I don't, I'm a happy person and I can just clip black. Perfect. So now I want to clip white. And I think that looks good. Maybe that's just a little too much. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, let's get back to alpha. Add the key cleaner. Get rid of that noise. Let's turn on RGB and we can see the advanced spill suppressor. That's before, after. You can see it removes all of the leftover greens. And I've noticed the advanced spill suppressor, if it doesn't have any green, it freaks out and does this. So to fix that, go to last frame where we need it, click stopwatch for suppression, go to the next frame and bring it to 0. We can leave it at standard. We don't really need that ultra stuff right here. So now let's see how it looks. Okay, it's coming together. So now let's get rid of these black edges. So the only thing we have to do is to add motion tile. Put it above our mesh warp and let's try, I don't know, 150, 150 and click mirror edges. And there you go. In case you didn't know, what it does is, let me resize it. It just repeats the image. So the edges would be hidden and won't be visible. Perfect. So bam, there we go. Let's create a solid and I will sample the color from somewhere in the midtones. We can adjust it after. Put it below, and we do it because we will drop the opacity of this footage slightly. So let's make a keyframe right here. Let's see how all of the keyframes look and maybe drop it to 80. Maybe 75. So it doesn't look like a real footage anymore. Okay, it's coming together. So from here we add CC Force Motion Blur. You can turn up the samples to make it look good. And you can play around with the shutter angle. I think the 180 will look okay. Let's see how it looks. And you can see that this part is particularly crisp, even though we added motion blur. And this is because there is not a lot of movement between the keyframes, but we can fix that. So what we can do, let's see what it does next. Yeah, we can do it like so. And you can of course go ahead and tweak it all day. What else stands out for me is these highlights. So add lumetri color to the very top. Let's make a white keyframe and maybe bring it down just a little bit. You can make a highlights and exposure keyframe, see what it might benefit from. What you can also do is try to match these colors to what I have already in my room. So for example, let's see if temperature drop works. So let's make it really blue and let's see how it looks. So it looks good, but from here on now, it's all about minor tweaks. So for example, I don't really like how this last part looks. So what we can do is just drop the opacity even more. So let's still have the original somewhere around here, but right about there, let's drop it to maybe 25. And I'd say we can even adjust the exposure. And I'm going to change the color of that underlying solid. So let's see how our shot looks like. I want to blur it even more, and to do it easily is to add radial blur, bring it to the bottom. We can drag it right here and change it to zoom. Now all we have to do is keyframe it, so find the proper spot, make a keyframe with amount 0, maybe here, yeah, and here change it to, let's say 15. Yeah, that looks good. Sweet. And now you can, of course, go ahead and keyframe all the other values as you see fit, so it really looks good on your scene. For example, you could change to something more blue. Yeah, it looks even better now. Yeah, I like it better than the one before. Ha, sorry. So that was the last one for real. Go ahead, play around with it, keyframe whatever you want from these values, add your own effects to it, but that's just a basic overview of how this effect was done. There you go. So this is it. Hit me up with any questions you may have, and I'll see you in the next one.
Jacek, thanks so much for sharing your expertise here on the Josh Olufemii channel. I'm definitely going to implement some of the stuff I learned in my next music video, and I hope all you guys watching will do the same thing. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Please remember to like and subscribe. There are 2 more videos that you can check out, and as always, remember to keep it chill.